let's learn how to tune your violin. So there are really two ways you can do that, and one of them is with the pegs, and the other one is with the fine tuners. We're going to start with the pegs. This is by far the more difficult one. And this is something you're going to have to be able to do because with humidity changes or the instrument gets bumped or whatever, you're going to need to be able to use the pegs. And it's a little challenging and it's a little scary because you can break a string really, really easily. Also, you can damage your violin if you do this wrong too. But there are just a few simple things to keep in mind to avoid both of those awful scenarios. So, your pegs are wedge-shaped. The only thing that holds them in there is friction. So, all motions when you're tuning up or tuning down, if you just tune it this way, it's not going to stay. It's not going to stay put. It's going to unravel. So, every adjustment that you make, you need to corkscrew in. Whether you're tuning up or tuning down, you need to push in as you're doing that. So all motions, whether you're going up or going down. And the degree at which it's sticky would determine how much you push in. And that's just something that takes practice. If you don't push in enough, it's going to unwind. If you push in too much, then it becomes really stuck. So you want to be able to push it in just enough so that it sticks. So that's how that works. Now, if you do the pushing while you're holding on, while you're adding counter pressure from the other hand low, then you risk damaging this joint right here at the neck and the base of the violin. So all of the counter pressure that you push on, that you're going to have, that you apply, will be on the opposite side of the peg box. So you're up here, so you're pushing here, not here. And when you're on the other side, same thing. You don't hold on to it here, but you hold on to it here. And then you're corkscrewing in, pushing against your other hand. So that's thing one. You won't damage your violin if you do that. Super duper important. Okay, let's now talk about how to avoid breaking a string. So all adjustments that you make when you're corkscrewing, the difference between being super duper out of tune like it is right now to being in tune is about maybe 1/8 of a turn. The difference between where it's at right now and being in tune is about that much. The difference between where it's at right now and being broken is about that much. So it's a tiny adjustment. You know, you don't have to turn the peg very much before you have a broken string. So you have to really keep track of where the pitch is on the string as you're tuning. So whenever I make any kind of adjustment with the pegs, I always make sure I can hear the string vibrating. If I go, wow, that's out of tune, and I go, right, it's broken, just like that. So what you need to do instead is constantly pluck the string so that you can hear the pitch as you're gradually tuning it up. That's thing two. So you will not do any damage to your violin neck if you do the counterweight up here, and you will not have a broken string if you can always hear the pitch of the string and you keep track of where that is. Next, let's look at how to use a tuning app or a tuning machine to get your strings exactly in tune. Okay, the names of your strings are G, D, A, E. So from lowest to highest, G, D, A, E. You can memorize that with good dogs are easy. All right, G, D, A, E. So we're going to start tuning in the middle of your violin. So because the outside strings will slightly pull the neck one direction. So if we start in the middle, if we start with the A string and then the D, then the outside ones tend to not change quite as much. Okay, so we're going to start with the A string. So I'm going to turn the violin so that it's facing me. I'm going to set it right here on my lap. And then I'm going to take the A peg and take my left hand and move it up so it's on the other side of the peg box. Okay, so now I've got a tuning app. You can also use a tuning machine that attaches to your instrument. Either way, that's fine. And then I want this to be an A pitch. And right now, it's super low. It's like a D flat. So I've got a ways to go. But remember, the difference between where it's at right now and being in tune is just a slight turn. And the difference between where it's at now and being broken is maybe half of a rotation. So it's not much. So I start plucking with my thumb. I'm going to push in, corkscrewing in as I'm making small adjustments. Set to A flat. It's close now. There it is. So it says it's a little flat. I'm going to... it's pretty good. It's close enough for now. All right. Good. So that A string is pretty close. We're going to get the rest of it with the fine tuners later. Okay, next we're going to tune the D up. The D is so out of tune it doesn't even register as a pitch. So I've got my right hand now on the opposite side of the peg box, and I'm going to corkscrew in with my left hand, tuning very gradually and plucking with my thumb. That's pretty close. Good, my A has flattened a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, next I'm going to do the G string. So counterweight, counter pressure on the opposite side of the peg box. I've got the G peg in my left hand, and I'm plucking with my right thumb. I'm going to gradually bring that up super slowly, corkscrewing the whole time. I overshot it a little bit. Going up and down until it's pretty close. Call that good enough. Okay, then I'm going to do the E string. The E one is the easiest to break. So be super careful. Counterbalance or counterweight over here, and then plucking with my left thumb. Corkscrewing in. That's pretty close. Okay, so now I am not in tune, but I'm a lot closer than I was. So now, because I've made these huge adjustments, I'm going to check my bridge to make sure that it's straight up and down. And lo and behold, the bridge has pulled forward a little bit. So I'm going to do the adjustment that we went through just a little bit ago, where I grab the violin with my knees and I hike this back just a tiny bit until the back face is perpendicular to the top, and now I'm good. So now I'm going to check again and see how far off I am. So I'm going to start with my A, pretty flat. So that's better. Now I'm going to do the D. There it is. Now the G. A little sharp. Close enough for now. Then E. It's pretty good. I'm a lot closer now. Okay, good. So next we're going to use the fine tuners to fine tune it.